Mr. Coach?
I'll lead with one, if not two, geeky questions. You allow 26% of shots at the rim. The league average is 33, and like no one else is below 29%. How do you do it?
Draymond Green. I think Draymond is the best all-around defender in the league, and I just think he's a genius defensively. His awareness, his communication. I think that our philosophy is to take away the rim, but the players have to execute the schemes. And what makes it difficult in today's game, obviously, is all the three-point shooting, and so you got to cover a ton of ground, and guys have to fly around, and it requires a lot of effort. But I think we have the personnel to be able to do it. Not the traditional giant center, but Looney's really good with his awareness. Draymond, and some continuity. We've been together for a long time.
When you rescheduled this game for this day, kind of what were your thoughts in terms? Obviously, so much more is going on, but kind of your thoughts on terms of this game versus the All-Star schedule and setting whether or not you'd play your main guys and that kind of thing.
Well, the game had to be rescheduled. Obviously we had two games postponed, and the league really had to scramble to find a couple of dates, and this was one of them, obviously. So both teams lose a day on their break. So we appreciated the league and Utah in making this possible. Because we were in no condition to play at the time, obviously. So it is what it is. We're here. We're going to put everybody out there. We got the break coming, and we'd like to end this on a good note and go into the break feeling good about things.
How beneficial is it that this rescheduled game comes 3 days after having just played them?
I don't know if it's beneficial for us or for them, or a little of both. I mean, I think sometimes you play teams really far apart and they're nothing alike in that, from one to the next. And this time, both teams are, pretty much the same. That game came right after the trade deadline, so Utah had made their moves, and we didn't make really any major moves. So the two teams are going to be familiar with one another.
I was talking to Will pregame about some of the sort of development work that he does, and he doesn't get to do a lot of that like every day with guys at practice. Every once in a while he'll get like a little bit of time to key in on something really specific with one person. And not every coach is like that, right? Because he comes from a development background, with the Spurs for so long. What are you like during those days where like a guy is working on something really, really small and nuanced? Is it you that's in there? Are you overseeing it? Is it somebody else that's in there?
I rarely am on the court on the individual stuff. Occasionally I'll step in if I feel like I can help somebody with a shooting tip. But we have a whole developmental staff. We have individual coaches. Everybody in the league now has about 12 coaches. So we put our guys to work, and every coach is assigned to an individual player, and so we trust those guys. We have bigger staff meetings beforehand, to talk about development. Seth Cooper is our player development director, and he does a great job, kind of oversees everything. And I talk to Seth every day. So it is a collaboration, but we really rely on our individual coaches.
I mean, piggybacking off of that, obviously, Steph doesn't need a lot of development, right?
Right.
But, if you're working with someone like Brandon or some of the younger guys, are you looking at stuff that's kind of big picture, like, let's work on perimeter defense? Or are you working on stuff that's, smaller, like, here's how to pivot in this situation?
Both. I watch film with individual players all the time, and it's important for me to step in and kind of double down on what the individual coaches are trying to teach. And when the players hear it from me, they know that I'm involved with all this stuff. So there's a lot of little individual basic stuff, especially for the young guys. Footwork, I think, to be really blunt, JK's next step is to really refine his footwork. He's powerful, he's athletic, he's explosive, he's come so far. But he gets in a rush down on the block sometimes. And just like all young players, it's just going to take some time to refine the drop step, the pump fake, the step through, all that stuff. And so sometimes it's details like that, and sometimes it's bigger picture items, but I think it's important that the players know that, that I'm a big part of this and talking with all the development coaches, and we're all aligned on the same page.
I don't know how you're supposed to have a new answer to this question, but just any thoughts on Steph's most recent run and just what he's still doing to this game?
Well, when you see him work every day, you understand, how he has stayed on top of his game, what he does day in and day out to take care of his body, to keep his skill sharp. Every single day, he's the same guy. He's got this routine, he sticks to it, and he puts himself in this position to succeed all the time. I also think he loves it. He loves the process. He loves the routine. And I think that's one of the most important aspects in any athlete, whether it's Roger Federer or Steph or Tom Brady. The common denominators, they love the process. They love the work. And you can see it with Steph. He enjoys every single day, and so he's going to still be good for a long time.
To follow on that, this last scoring surge, a lot of, he's scoring as efficiently as anybody in the league, but doing so without the free throw line for the most part. Mm-hmm. I guess, how would you frame that, relative to the scoring spikes in the modern game, his ability, obviously some of that's inherent to his skill set, but his ability to generate that kind of offense independently of free throw line?
It's pretty impressive. I think before, somebody gave me the stat before last night's game, he had scored 97 points in his last 3 games with 4 free throws. It's stunning. It's just stunning that he's so efficient and so explosive without going to the line. He's unique. I don't know if there's ever been anybody quite like him.
Can you teach that joy of the process to young players, or is it just something you?
No, I think you can teach the process for sure. I think every young player has to learn a routine, and a lot of times it comes from an older player on the same team and a coach helping him out and understanding the importance of that daily work to stay ready for every single moment. But he's either going to love it or he's not.
Your transition numbers still have you as the least frequently team in transition. Is that an accurate depiction of how you're playing right now, or is that leftover?
I think it's leftover. I think it's been better the last 2 weeks, and I haven't looked at the numbers, so I don't know if I can prove that, but it feels like the last couple of weeks we're playing faster.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It is time for a weekly conversation with the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Douglas Kerr. And for those people that are wondering, Cope's a little under the weather today, so he's missed the last hour and a half. He hung in there for as long as he could. Voice started going, and he just wasn't feeling great. So he's gonna recoup, rest, and hopefully be back tomorrow. Hello, Stephen.
Thomas, how you doing?
Tremendous. Yourself?
I'm well. Thank you. Been a whirlwind couple of days. Nothing like a 21-hour trip to Serbia.
Yeah. Other than the obvious sadness, as funerals generally are.
Yeah.
How were the ceremonies and meeting the people, and did you get kind of even a better understanding of who he was visiting over there?
It was beautiful. I mean, just to see the outpouring of love from so many people there. The service was yesterday, and I mean there were, I don't know, it felt like 1,000 people there. Tons of fans, and it meant a lot for us to be there, and it was. I think the family was really appreciative that we made the trip out to honor them and to honor Decky, and so very emotional, but. but also very beautiful and great to be there. Just to, I don't know, it just felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
To be there with them.
No, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm stating stuff that is obvious, but we all love basketball. We all love sports, but I think we understand it in that you compartmentalize a little bit. It's not real life. I mean, it is. It's
Right.
very important to you. It's not as important to me, but I still take it seriously. It's just that's not what you're dealing with. So no, I applaud you guys for flying over there and going to that. I thought that was awesome. I'm sure they appreciated it, and it's just I agree with you. That was the right thing to do. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, obviously the games are relatively important,
Sure.
but what you really relish, and you know this because you've felt it as a player, and I definitely feel it, as a coach too. It's like you really relish the relationships that you make within the competition. You're fighting and you're scrapping, and it's so emotional, and it's it's an amazing way to really get to know people and to become close with people when you're competing with them. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about sports, is just these lifelong friendships that you build through, the game and through competing together. And then, when you lose someone, and it really does feel like losing a family member.
Yep.
It's tough. And, so yeah, I'm, we're all still shaken up by it all, but, still trying to honor Decky as best we can.
I mean, think about it. The shared experiences you have with all the people you played with. I mean, we met when we were probably 19, 20, and Jim Peterson and I met when I was a little over 20. Chris Mullen and I met. Those are people I still know today and still talk to and still talk about sports and life and stuff like that. I mean, it's just that's why I'm a big believer in team sports when you're younger. It's so much more than just the sport itself. It's learning how to deal with others, learning how to build relationship with others. It's just all that stuff. And I love that aspect of it. And the games itself are great, but there's just so much more that goes with it.
If I had never met you, Tom, I don't know if I ever would have understood the
nuances of it.
Two-team teaser. I mean,
and if I never met you, I couldn't have finished your sentence either.
That's right.
It's so funny because it's funny to us, and everybody else is like, "What a bunch of idiots!
What
are
you
they talking about?
Yeah,
a bunch of idiots, bunch of freaking idiots." Let's talk about the team because the team is playing some really good basketball, and it's like kind of all coming together. Like we've talked about. The light bulb went on over Jonathan's head. Like he's figured out like attacking is the way to go. About the same time, Wiggins decided, I'm going to start attacking too. He's been fantastic. He's been aggressive. He's not passing up shots. I mean, the three-point shot hasn't come along for the ride yet, but that's fine. He's defending. He's getting to the rim, and he's doing his thing. Clay's a little up and down, but I think he's trying to embrace who he is right now. I don't need to embrace Clay from 2019. Let's be the best Clay I can be right now. And then you got the Draymond's come back, and he just kind of do what Draymond does. I mean, organize stuff, be the fire on the team. And then the young guys are pitching in. Like, this was kind of the vision early on. It's funny how seasons go. It takes a while, but you're like, okay, took us a while to get there. But do you feel like you're kind of not there, but you're closer to the vision that maybe you had of what this team could be?
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing that I've felt really good about all season is just the connection and the chemistry of the group. We really have a great group of guys, and everyone's committed to each other. And that was true even, going through some of the losing stretches. So I've maintained, throughout that we were going to be able to get it going. And so it is good to see my faith justified because it's, I don't think this is a flash in the pan. I mean, over the last 10, we're number 3 in the league in defense and number 1 in offense. And that's, that's what it takes. You gotta play two-way basketball. And just from what I'm seeing with Draymond healthy and Gary Payton back and, the way, like you said, Kuminga has really emerged and Wiggs playing better. And of course, you didn't even mention Steph. That's what I do too. You
He's
talk
just
about everything.
He's a given.
Everything other than Steph.
He's a given. I just expect him to be
He's
Steph.
a given. He's a given. He is. He's just so damn good, and so it feels good. And I'm glad for the guys that we're getting it going. But a lot of work ahead.
No, I mean, look, Steph is Magic. He's Bird. He's Jordan. He's Duncan. He's LeBron. Yeah. He's a guy that you just, okay, he had a great game. Cool. I mean, good. That's what Steph always does. And every once in a while, he'll have a spectacular game. It's like, wow, that was incredible. But that to me is always the true sign of greatness, is that they make greatness look ordinary. And that's what Steph does.
He does. He's good every single night, and he's been particularly hot, here of late.
Yeah.
I think Draymond's return has helped him because our defense is better, so we're getting more runouts. Our pace has picked up a little bit, and then I think also just their little two-man actions that they've been running forever together. Those are giving him some more open looks, and he and Draymond they're just such a good pair, and they have so much history together. So Draymond knows how to get him open and knows how to get him comfortable, but it's been something to watch. That the Pacer game in Indianapolis last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that Steph even hit the rim on the first. I think he was 7 for 7 to start the game from 3 or 6 for 6. And it was just a fireworks show. It was incredible watching that.
No, it really is. I mean, he does some amazing things. The only problem with the streak you guys are on is there's 2 more games until the All-Star break. It's
right.
Can we push that further down the road a little bit and kind of keep this thing going? Because as they like to say, it's a midway point of the season. Well, except there's 20 games left after the the All-Star break.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll be. I think our guys need it. Frankly,
okay.
They've been through an awful lot emotionally. We've had so many games. We get the added game Thursday, the makeup game in Utah, and our guys they're going to need a rest. But I think they'll come back really ready to close this season in a really strong manner and see what we can do.
Well, I feel I'm contractually obligated by myself to at least once every other time we talk to say how much I love Pajemski, just because he's so much fun to watch. He really is. I mean, he's so tenacious. I tell people, I go, if you watch the game twice, like if you watch it and think, I don't watch something else, I go, just watch him when he's on the court. I go, watch the plays he makes and then watch the tenacity in which he gets after the glass. Like, he just does not stop. And I said this about a month ago, and people said, well, you may be a little premature. I go, this guy's the best rebounding guard in the league, pound for pound. I'm still saying he's the best rebounding guard in the league, pound for pound. There may be guys that are better rebounders that are bigger, but not his size. He knows how to play the game. He had that 3 or 4 game stretch with no turnovers. He is under control, but a little reckless. Like, it's that combination where he's going to do some stuff, but he knows when to do it, how to do it. I mean, I got to imagine he's even fit in and played better than maybe you could have imagined before the season started.
Yeah, I mean, we could see in camp that he was going to make an impact at some point. But you remember, he wasn't in the rotation to start the season. Rookies have to earn it, and they got to get their opportunity, and you got to see him do it under the lights and all that. But once he got his opportunity, he has not looked back, and he's so fearless out there and sees the game so well. He still overdoes it sometimes defensively. Like, he sees the whole picture and he tries to help in 3 different spots at once. Kind
of like Draymond.
Yeah, he is. He calls himself like, I'm the guard version of Draymond. I'm like, that's great, except if you have 2 guys doing that, then we're gonna run into some problems. But no, I'd way rather have that, somebody overhelping than someone who doesn't see where the help is. And so we're trying to get him a little bit more under control. But he is just a really, really damn good player, and he's helped us so much. I think he's a connector, just the cuts and the quick swing passes and all that stuff. He's made our team much better.
So let me ask you something. We had Bob Myers on a couple minutes ago, and I talked to him about this. And we talked to him about the reason, he left the game was it just hard for him to enjoy it. And I always found that interesting because you get into the game because you love the game. And I know you love coaching, and this is something you've always wanted to do is coaching. And you talk about joy all the time with the team. I also know there are nights, and Margaret will remind you, that are November, and you don't sleep, you toss and turn, you kind of kick in bed, and you're not having that much joy, and it's not that much fun trying to figure stuff out. How do you balance those two to where this is something you love dearly, you love the game, you love coaching, yet there are times where it's not going to be all that much fun doing what you do? How do you balance that so you have that joy and it's not just, oh, we won, it's relief. God, thank God we won. Now I can move on to the next thing. Hey, how do you stop and smell the roses, so to speak?
Well, I think it helps to have a good perspective on things. I literally think every day about how lucky I am to coach basketball for a living, and we try to remind our guys how lucky we all are to walk into that building, see each other, play basketball, coach basketball, compete together, travel. I mean, what a life, what an incredible life, and we're obviously really well compensated for it, and I think every guy has to find the balance in his own life. So for me, just to come home, and have a great family, and enjoy my family, enjoy my friends. It means that even in a season like this one where there's, some really tough losses, I still wake up every day and I can't wait to go to work. And I think that's the main thing. I think you have to find a way to understand that if you're living and dying with every win, every loss, that's kind of an unhealthy life.
Yeah.
You have to really embrace the big picture, and within that, there's going to be some last second wins, some tough losses, and you take it all in.
I got to let you know, Raymond let me know this, and I just wanted to bring it up because it's pretty cool stuff. You got some pretty awesome people on this list. Phil Jackson, Pop, and Pat Riley, I think, is on this list. It is fastest to 500 wins, although they should have one in your case for fastest to 460 wins since you vultured 40 of those wins. I mean, it wasn't bad enough you stole 39 from Luke. Then you take one from Atkinson last night. I mean, seriously, how do you live with yourself? You got 4 championships and you're just taking wins left and right. Like, yeah, I'll take that. That's mine. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but you know what? I insisted that I don't get the losses from those guys. Although I don't think
in your
there were very
contract,
many.
huh? Well done.
Yeah, it's in my contract. Yeah, I don't know what it says about me that the people who have sat in my seat are a combined 51-2. I'm not sure about that, but whatever.
You know what? You taught them well. You taught them well.
That's right.
Is what you did. I mean, what does that mean to you? Because, I know you kind of take it in stride a little bit. I mean, the championships are one thing. It's awesome, and you've done some incredible stuff as a coach. You've got to coach all-star games. I know for a fact one was good enough for you. You didn't want to do any more, but you had to. You were contractually obligated. You had to. But these milestones, you played for Pop. You played for Phil. We grew up watching Riley as young kids following basketball. This is history now. This is historic stuff when you start looking at coaches. How does that hit you as not only the coach who's accumulated this, but as someone who's followed sports their whole lives and understands the history of basketball?
Yeah, there's definitely a little imposter syndrome that goes on. When you see your name and with some of those names, and I don't know, it's a good slap in the face and a good reminder that as coaches we are all dependent on our talent, the people we coach and the organizations we work for. So, to work in one place for a decade in professional sports and have still 3 players from the very first
Yeah.
team. That's unheard of. So I don't know. This is really more about just the overall organizational stability and talent and continuity. And I love being here. I love doing what I do, and it's been a blessing just to experience it with all these people.
Now, hey, it couldn't happen to a better guy, and you're really going to have imposter syndrome when that Hall of Fame calls in about 20 years. You're going to be like, nah, that can't be for me. What are you talking about? I'm out of here. I'm playing golf. You know what you should do, though? You got to promise me if that call ever comes, you got to get up there and go, do you guys know the nuances of the 2-team teaser? Let me explain it to you.
You know what? Now, the way the pro sports handle gambling, they might actually embrace it and turn it into a TV commercial.
Oh, you know what? You're probably right. You could probably, you know what? You could probably get a deal with DraftKings after you retire. That'd be incredible.
Yes,
Look at
that's
you,
right.
just figuring out ways to rake in the money after you retire. That's awesome. Hey, good stuff. It's been fun watching you guys play, and you guys have been playing well, so that's really, really encouraging. Always fun to talk to you, and we'll look forward to talking to you. Not next week, because next week is All-Star Week. Everybody will be dark during that week, so we'll talk to you the week after.
All right. Sounds great, Tommy.
See you,
Thanks.
Stevie.